Hello everyone, I am Eray Aydın from North Anatolian Development Agency. I and my colleague Mr. Ismail Karakulle from the University of Kastamonu prepared this article to the Journal of Human and Social Science Research. Our topic is mediating role of organizational trust in the effect of organizational support pursued by employee on organizational identification, a research in the manufacturing sector. Organizations are institutions that have an impact on many areas of life, from the economic development of countries to the change and transformation of the societies. They also have strong and continuous interaction with their environment. The rapid and different production structure brought by technology and the diversification of consumers' need for goods and services force organizations to produce more and compete with rivals. Achieving a competitive advantage and being a premier in the market are among the main goals and objectives of many organizations, especially in recent years. Factors such as technology, production structure, product diversity, organizational structure, and product and service components of organizations provide significant advantage in gaining a competitive advantage. In addition to these, the most important resource that is difficult to imitate for the organizations to gain a competitive advantage and that will make a difference against their competitors in terms of competence and competence in human resources. The importance given to human resources by organizations that are aware of its power is increasing day by day. This research is defining the effect of perceived organizational support by employees on organizational trust and organizational identification. In this context, the study aims to define the effect of perceived organizational support of the employees on organizational identification and to determine the mediating role of organizational trust. So, the sample of the study consists of 453 employees determined by the convenience sampling method in the production enterprises located within the organized industrial zone in Niğde and Konya provinces. The hypotheses created within the scope of the study were analyzed by structural equation modeling. According to the analysis, it is seen that there is a positive and significant correlation between perceived organizational support and organizational identification, positive and significant relationship between organizational identification and organizational trust. And there is a positive and significant correlation between perceived organizational support and organizational trust. Besides, it was defined that organizational trust has a mediating role in the effect of perceived organizational support on organizational identification. When we start with the introduction part of the article, organizations need different types of employees according to their fields of activity. Employees carry out their work following today's competitive conditions to achieve organizational goals and objectives. The achievements of the workers and their performances also contribute to the increase in organizational effectiveness and productivity. The organizational support perceived by the workers is of great importance in terms of organizational efficiency and effectiveness. Perceived organizational support is pointed out as employees feeling safe in their institutions and aware of their organizations standing with him in all situations and conditions. An employee who believes that he is valued and respected by his organization, who is offered rewards and promotion opportunities, and who feels that he is supported financially and psychologically by his organization, contributes to the organization at a higher level. According to the research made by Büyük Yılmaz and Fidan in 2017, employees who are aware that they are supported by their institutions feel safer in workplace and believe that their institution is behind them in line with the trust whenever they face problems related to their job. This research focuses on mediating effect of organizational trust on organizational identification of perceived organizational support of the employees. The study aims to define the effect of organizational support, perception on the level of organizational identification, and defining the mediating role of trust in the relationship between perceived organizational support and organization identification level. Thus, it's aimed to provide support to organizations at the point of increasing organizational identification behavior, which is considered important for organizations. In addition, many researchers in the literature have examined the impact of perceived organizational support on job satisfaction, organizational citizenship, and organizational silence. So this research is also important in terms of giving a new perspective to the literature. When we look at for the conceptual framework, we would like to start with the perceived organizational support. What can be learned from perceived organizational support? Perceived organizational support is examined as the feelings of the employees that their organization is interested in them, their contributions to the organizations are given importance, and accordingly, the support that the organization provides to the employee. Most of the research are made by the other researchers, Eschenberger and Hudson, Sova, Hellman, Worley. Also, they find that perceived organizational support developed based on Hutner's continuous norm and also Blow's social exchange theory. Perceptions of the support can be provided as long as employees are appreciated and respected and their organizational needs are met. With the theory of reciprocity, employees feel a sense of commitment to their organizations and respond to the support given by the organization by increasing their efforts. As the perceived organizational support, acceptance and appreciation needs of the employees are provided, it will be possible for the employees to establish a bond with the organization by providing integration. When we look for the organizational trust literature, employees spend most of their lives in the organization, in the businesses, in the factories, and although their fields of activity and type of the goods and services they produce are different, organizations want to achieve long-term goals and objectives together with their team. The increasing level of competition and rapid change in consumer perceptions have made it more important for the organization to provide organizational integrity to gain superiority over their competitors, their rivals. One of the factors contributing to organizational integrity and managerial effectiveness is organizational trust. Organizational trust is positive wishes of workers about the attitudes and wishes of the other employees in the institution based on internal relations, positions, and specialization within the context of trust climate, depending on job satisfaction and perceived organizational support. According to Neves and Ketano in 2006, organizational trust is an effective tool against issues such as ensuring organizational justice by the board of directors of the organization, meeting the expectations and improving the organizational cooperation among all the teams. Organizational trust has an important effect on establishing inter-organizational relations based on trust within the organization. So, achieving organizational goals and objectives and creating an effective team spirit is important. It is very difficult to talk about effective teamwork and success in organizations where a climate of trust is not provided. According to Strater, the formation of organizational trust affects organization performance, organization's commitment, and organizational identifications, which are effective for organizational success. For organizational identification, organizational identification is a concept that draws attention and importance in the field of organizational behavior. Organizational identification, which is a form of social identification, is the employee's perception of belonging to an organization or membership in a certain organization. While belonging to an organization forms a part of the social identity of the employee, the values and norms of the organization to which he belongs are included in the employee's perception, and the employee thinks on behalf of the organization. Organizational identification reveals the psychological relation between the staff and the organization and defines significant attitudes and behaviors within the organization also. Organizational identification is the perception of the employee's integrity within an organization. When the employee identifies with his organization, not only is individual identity formed, but also his organizational identity is also formed. In other words, the employee has the perception that the basic characteristics of organization are a part of their individual characteristics. That is, their organizational identity is a part of their individual identity. Organizational identification has a critical importance to examine organizational behavior, containing employee satisfaction and institutional performance. In the process of organizational identification, the employee makes evaluations and comparisons about his organization, and as a result, if he has positive ideas about organization at a level that will meet his expectations, his commitment and satisfaction rate to the organization is increasing, and also performance and productivity level able to increase also. So when we look at for the relationship between perceived organizational support, organizational trust, and organizational identification, many researchers in the field have made so many research about these topics, and according to the literature, it has been determined that the support given by the organization to the employees is effective in increasing their sense of trust in the organization. And also, it has been seen that organizational support is effective in the process of organizational identification. Within the framework of this perspective, it is seen that there is a significant and positive relationship between perceived organizational support and organizational trust. According to the research Singh and Srivastava, Akkoch and Çalışkan and Turunç, if the worker feels that he is supported by institution and that his needs and expectations are met, it causes the employee to feel more trust towards the organizations. Similarly, recent studies have shown that perceived organizational support and organizational identification have a positive relationship. Perceived organizational support increases organizational effectiveness and organizational identification. In this perspective, we have concluded our hypothesis of the study created within the scope of previous studies as follows. Hypothesis 1. Perceived organizational support affects organizational trust. Hypothesis 2. Organizational trust affects organizational identification. Hypothesis 3. Perceived organizational support affects organizational identification positively and significantly. And the last one, hypothesis 4, organizational trust has a mediating effect on perceived organizational support and organizational identification relationship. When we look at the second part, the research methodology, our population and sample of the study includes the manufacturing facilities located in the provinces of organized industrial zone, both Niğde and Konya provinces. In the study, instead of all population, sampling was preferred due to factors such as time and cost. The convenient sampling method, which is one of the non-probability sampling methods, was used in the selection of the sample with the level of representation of the universe. Questionnaire was sent to 650 employees, taking into account the response rates. A total of 457 employees received feedback. The return rate was calculated as 69%. As a result, the examination, it was determined that 4 questionnaires were invalid. So the sample of the study consists of 453 employees. Data analysis and the scales. In this study, the online survey method was preferred within the scope of the quantitative research method for data collection. The questionnaire has 2 parts. The first part was included to determine the demographic statistics of the employees. The second part was included to questions which employees evaluate perceived organizational support, organizational trust, and organizational identification behaviors. For testing hypotheses, the scales used in different studies were examined, and the scales thought to be suitable for the scope of the research were included. For testing the degree of organizational support perceived by the employees participating in the research, the scale developed by Eisenberger, adapted to Turkish literature by Büyük Yılmaz, was used. The scale developed by Robinson, the Turkish version adapted by Büyük Yılmaz and Fidan, also used for calculating the degree of the trust of the employees towards their organization. And the last one, the scale for organizational identification, Ashford and Mile and Ashford's scale was used, which adapted to the Turkish language by Tokgöz and Seymen was used in this study. The scales are included in the questionnaire form as a 5-point Likert type. So when we look at for the research findings, demographic characteristics of the employees according to the tables, the majority of the sample consists of male and married employees. When the age of the employees is examined, it has been determined that the employees between 31 and 40 years old are at a higher rate. Consider the work experience. Most of the workers are 2 years or 5 years, and also 6 years and 10 years gap. Finally, the sample size of the study consists of blue colors with the 87.4%. The questionnaire validity and reliability analysis. According to the confirmatory factor analysis, factor loss are greater than 0.3 and goodness of fit values are within the acceptable limits. Therefore, it's seen that the values obtained after confirmatory factor analysis according to the values of the goodness of fit provide structural validity. According to table, the reliability of the scale was calculated as 95.8% for the whole scale, including 19 items. When we look at for the correlation analysis, Pearson correlation analysis was applied to investigate the relationship between dimensions, and the results are given in table. According to the tables, pursuit, organizational support, and organizational identification show positive and strong relationship. Furthermore, it is seen that a positive and strong correlation between organizational identification and organizational trust. Finally, analysis results show that a positive and strong correlation between pursuit, organizational support, and organizational trust. When we conclude the hypothesis, this study examined the mediating role of organizational trust in the effect of pursuit, organizational support on organizational identification. In this context, it is thought that pursuit, organizational support has a positive effect on organizational identification, and organizational trust has a positive effect as a mediator role. Therefore, hypotheses 1, 2, 3, and 4 were accepted. According to the results, our conclusion part, in this research, we would like to talk about the similar research and our results also similar with the others. The relationship between pursuit, organizational support, organizational trust, and organizational identification are investigated. In this context, the study aims to determine the effect of employees' perception of organizational support on organizational identification, and to determine the mediating role of organizational trust in the relationship between pursuit, organizational support, and organizational identification. With the framework of the stated purpose, the data set used in the research was obtained from 453 employees in the manufacturing enterprises selected by convenience sampling method located in the organized industrial zone in Niğde and Konya provinces. According to the research analysis, pursuit, organizational support has a positive effect on organizational trust. The findings of similar studies in the field of organizational behavior also support our research findings. So, it's important for the employees to be supported by their organizations and to increase their trust of the employees towards their organization. However, there are some limitations in the research conducted. First of all, the research is limited to provinces, Konya and Niğde. In addition, the research was carried out in manufacturing enterprises. Different results can be obtained when it is done in the service businesses and different regions or provinces. Secondly, it's thought that conducting the research in a way to include different subjects in the field of organizational behavior, in other words, revealing it with different variables, will contribute to the businesses and the literature. Thank you very much.